What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cornelia back for another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. All right, first things first. I have no updates. That's what's first. That is what's up. That's what's first, y'all. I ain't got nothing to share. No new news. Same old. Check my website for show dates. Same old. I will be performing in different areas. Same old. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Same old updates, but brand new episode, brand new topics, some fun ones that I think you guys gonna like. So with all that said, y'all, let's get into it. So I think the question of the week and the weekend has been, is R&B dead? Is R&B music dead to the bed? Is R&B a rhythm and blues? Is it R.I.P.? This question was sparked and started by Puff Daddy, aka Diddy, aka Sean P. Diddy Combs. He was on social media. I'm not sure where it started or who he was talking to. Y'all know Puff be trolling. I love me some Puff Daddy. But hey, Puff been trolling since he shut down the studio on making the band. Okay? So let's preface it with that. And I have my theories about this whole conversation. But let's talk about the meat of it, and then we'll get to that. He sparked the conversation over social media and asked, is R&B dead? He then started to have lives with different artists, Summer Walker, Tory Lanez, JD, a bunch of people having this conversation about what R&B music is. I think even Mary J. Blige got looked into it. I'm not 100% sure. At one point, I just couldn't follow along with everybody, okay? I was busy. But I honestly, when you think about R&B music and what it is today, what it was, what it started off as, that's a trick question. That is a trick question, and it depends exactly on what you're talking about. Is Puff talking about the R&B that we knew up until like the early 2000s? Is that dead? If we're talking about R&B as we knew it up until the early 2000s, that version, yeah, probably dead. Now, is there current R&B that's thriving and jamming? Of course. But when Puff is talking, what is Puff talking about? Now, R&B from the 50s to the early 2000s was powered and significantly around like vulnerability, love, romance, true love songs, crooning, men expressing their love, and even if it was like a side chick song, it was still hella romantic. Up until, I would say, when hip hop started to be infused with R&B. That's when stuff started to shift. But from that 1950s up until the early 2000s, I would say R&B as we knew it and what R&B was shaped around was still intact. Now, current R&B as a whole, it do kind of skew towards rap music. You got the Summer Walkers and the Ari Lennoxes and the Jasmine Sullivans and those who are R&B singers. When I think about R&B of all time, like what it was, they're singing. Those artists and people like them, yeah, they fall into that. But we also got the Chris Browns and the Ty Dolla Signs. Yes, they are R&B, but they be rapping. It's what I like to call rap and B, not necessarily R&B. So when Puff is starting this conversation, is he talking about that or is he talking about something else? Now, also another question. What part do our elders in the music business have to play in this? Because trends are trends. And the music business is a business. And the people pushing music aren't necessarily the artists. It's the people behind the scenes gravitating towards trends and having sometimes ulterior motives about the direction stuff is going in. So when Puff is asking these questions, somebody got to call out, Puff, what part do you play in all of this? Because hey, R&B was thriving, but then Loon was rapping on all them R&B songs. Then it shifted. We had Loon. Loon was on all the R&B stuff. We had Biggie on Can't You See. Biggie was on 112's Only You. Before Only You with Biggie, it was just a regular R&B song. When Biggie got hopped on that, it became Rap and B. So hey, we all got a part to play in this. Now, do I think R&B music can thrive? I hope so. Because we also have to highlight is what's happening, and this happens in most popular genres because we've seen it right in front of our eyes. We can be jamming and singing all these R&B songs. It's not getting the record play. It's not making it to the top of the charts. But then when a white person sings it, then, oh, it's the best thing ever. They getting all the accolades and the respect. Insert Ed Sheeran, Adele, Sam Smith, Justin Timberlake. So when you ask them, is R&B thriving? They'll tell you, yeah. Hell, they'll sing R&B and then people will categorize it as pop because they're singing it, even though it's traditional R&B. So the point, we all got a part to play. If we, the individual, or if you, the Black News listener, think R&B is dead, we have to start supporting the R&B that we like. We got to start buying songs and buying music and buying albums and buying concert tickets. We have to support because that's the only way things are going to thrive. And people got to eat. People got to make a living doing with using the gifts that they've been given. Them 90s and 2000s concerts with all the R&B singers. Go. Joe be on the road. Joe stay on the road. Okay. Joe Thomas, he gonna be on the road. Anthony Hamilton, all of them. So we got to support. But do I think it's dead? That's a trick question. When I listen to R&B, what do I go back to? I'm going to go back to my old jams, okay? However, there are new artists that I really love. And y'all know I love me some Lucky Daye. Lucky Daye, though, while he's R&B, he be spoken word poetry in it up. It be sounding a little rapish. Okay, I don't be knowing what he be saying. I can't understand his lyrics because he be blending all his words together. But the boy be jamming, so he be doing his thing. I love it. Love all of his albums. But the point is, the conversation lies with us. If R&B is in fact dead, then we gotta revive it. And if we don't revive it, we can't complain when it becomes somebody else's genre, like jazz has become, like rap is becoming. It's gonna be on us. So where do you guys stand with it? Do you think R&B is dead? Do you think that's a trick question? And honestly, I think Puff is trolling because he's working on a new album, and that song that he has with Bryson Tiller, which is jamming, by the way. That's my summer song. I think all of this is just to spark the conversation for us to focus on his album when it comes out, so we can be like, oh shoot, R&B ain't dead because Puff Daddy brought it back. I think it's all a tool. But let me know what y'all think. Hit me up on social media with your thoughts. Now, speaking of R&B, hip hop, Bad Boy, Puff, apparently there is a versus, and I'm doing air quotes around versus, that's gonna happen in Atlanta between Bad Boy and So Def. Y'all, apparently this is now in the works, and it's going to be a thing. I saw this and heard about it over the weekend, right after the conversation that we just talked about surrounding R&B being dead. So it sounds like a couple of things. One, come to find out, Swizz and Timbaland ain't get the money that they thought they were supposed to get with their deal with Triller regarding verses. So now they suing Triller for what it sounds like over $25 million. With that in mind, a few artists came out and said, we're going to boycott Versus and Triller. Not even necessarily Versus, but Triller, because they have not paid Timbaland and Swizz Beatz that obscene amount of money. One in particular I saw, I think it was Styles P, was like, yo, we gonna boycott. Hey, I'm all for it. I love me some Versus, but not if the people ain't getting paid. The reason why it sounds like Timbaland and Swiss Beats partner with Trilla is because they had the best deal. And if y'all remember, when they officially signed on, they formulated a deal where the people who participated in Versus during the pandemic, when it was on Instagram Live and it was all sketchy and people Wi-Fi was acting up, all of those people got a cut or a piece of stock. So they own some of the product, similar to how Jay-Z did Tidal when he originally set it up. They owned, a bunch of different artists owned a piece of it. So if they ain't getting their money, they got to go. But it sounds like JD and Puff are deciding to do a form of that in Atlanta on their own, outside of Versus, probably in solidarity with Timbaland and Swizz Beatz as well. And it's going down. Y'all, I'm going. I don't know when this is. As long as it ain't during homecoming weekend. Now, as long as it ain't during my birthday or homecoming weekend, I'm going to try to make it. Y'all, what? I'm not going to do no predictions about who I think will win or who got the better thing, because as we've seen, we thought so-and-so was going to do well and they sucked. So I'm not even going to call this. This is more so on some who going to show up, who going to be there, who all going to be there. I got my money on whoever brings Jay-Z out. That's it. Because I don't know if y'all know this, Jay-Z fooled with JD and Puff heavy, but he fooled with JD. When JD had the So Def, I think it was the 25th year anniversary concert in Atlanta, Jay-Z came down, okay? And they did Money in the Thing. I'm going to the show. What time does it start? Y'all going? If y'all going, hey, we're going to have a meetup. We're going to have a Black News meetup. I'm going. What y'all think about this? And do y'all stand in solidarity with us boycotting Versus or Trilla, better yet, until they get their money problems in order? Which, you know what, I ain't really salty about, because low-key they was trying to charge us to watch Versus at one point. Remember they was trying to charge us for the Music Soul Child Anthony Hamilton Versus? Like, come on. Listen, we love them brothers, but we not about to pay no $5 to watch this. No. So let me know y'all thoughts on the upcoming So Def and Bad Boy Versus / hit battle. Dennis Rodman said he gonna get Brittany Griner back. Okay, Dennis said he'll do it. Dennis said, oh, don't worry, I'll go to Russia. I have a relationship with Putin. I'll go. Y'all, what? Huh? Now, I knew Dennis Rodman be just knowing the most random people. I think we all knew that. And if you didn't know that, get to do some research on Dennis Rodman, especially during his peak party days. The brother was out here. He was even with Carmen Electra. Wasn't they married or something? I'm talking about Dennis was out here. Some people be just knowing the most random people, and apparently Dennis Rodman one of them, because he has a direct line to Vladimir Putin, to the point where he said, hey, I got approval to travel to Russia. You know what? I'm going to get your girl back. BG coming home, baby. He said he was going to do it. Then 2 days later, he said he wasn't going. Y'all, 2 days. This lasted for 2 days. 2 days later, he said, well, you know what, guys? I'm not going to go. Apparently, the State Department chimed in, hit Dennis Rodman up, and told him that he can't go, especially on behalf of or as a pseudo representative of the United States government. They shut it down. They caught wind of it. They told him, nah, you can't go, and cautioned him around the idea that this could interfere with the case and it could actually backfire and screw Brittany Griner up even more. Or get him caught up. Listen, we are at war. And y'all know my theory. My theory is Brittany Griner was not her first time traveling with some vape cartridges. You only travel to Russia with vape cartridges if you get to be traveling to Russia with vape cartridges, especially if you are the biggest athlete coming in and out of that country, making that country millions of dollars for years. You trying to tell me Brittany Griner just started using vape cartridges and now she just started traveling with them? I'm not buying it. Apparently they wasn't either, because they got her locked up. Now you trying to tell me Dennis Rodman go over there thinking he about to do something? They'll put his ass in jail too, honey. Now we got 2 people, 2 athletes, and a bunch of other pile of Americans just locked up in Russia trying to figure out what's next. I agree. Old Dennis need to stay home. Okay. But I will say this. If Dennis Rodman would have went over there and got Brittany Griner back, hey, we wouldn't have been able to tell him shit. Like, he would have been the miggity man. I'm talking about the go. If Dennis Rodman, of all people, if not the Secretary of State, not Joe Biden going over, old butt going over there, not Kamala Harris, they could have even dug up freaking Al Gore and John Kerry. You know, he used to be Secretary of State. I'm talking about they could have called in the old faithfuls. None of that. Give my dog Eric Holder on the phone. No, anybody, if none of them could have pulled it off, but Dennis Rodman, if Dennis Rodman of all people would have went over there and got it done, y'all, just go ahead and hang it up. Just go ahead and hang it up for the states. Y'all, I just can't. But hey, I would have been rooting for the brother if he would have did it. Hey, he would have been the GOAT. So it is what it is. But did y'all even hear about this? Because it was only 2 days where he said he was going and he backtracked. So you probably missed it. If so, let me know what y'all think about it. I think it's hilarious / sad. And I'm still mad that she even over there in the first place. But that's, we already been there. So let me know what you're thinking about the whole situation. Hit me up. And lastly, Will Smith said he won't back on social media. Y'all gonna let him back into your hearts? Are y'all going to let Will Smith back into your hearts and minds? Are you willing to let Mr. Will Smith, Mr. Box Office? Because remember, at one point Will Smith he was the box office king. Y'all ready to let him back in? You ready to let that brother back? We still got people who really split on Will Smith and the Smith family. And I say the Smith family because people looped the family into this scenario when the slap ain't had nothing to do with that family for real. But we already went down this road. Y'all know some people be blaming Jada Pinkett Smith for just breathing. She shouldn't have been at the Oscars in the first place. If she wasn't there, then he wouldn't have had anything to even get mad at. Will posted an Instagram video the other day, and it was a very funny video. And the caption was something like, me trying to get back on social media, or something like basically to the effect of, can I come back, y'all? Hey guys, can I come back? It was like a little baby gorilla poking the other gorilla, and the big gorilla was like kind of shooing him off, like, get out of here. That's Will trying to do that too. He trying to poke us to see if he can come back in. Hey, y'all willing to let him back in? Are you on the side of hating Will Smith? Are you on the side of what he did was wrong? I can't stand him. His reputation is ruined. He should have known better. He's a grown man. I don't care. Team Chris Rock. Down goes Frazier. And by Frazier, I mean Will Smith. Or are you on the side of he made a mistake? We're all human. He said he was dealing with his own trauma. Yes, it may have been a bad time and it was wrong, but shit happens. Let the man come back and make his money. Where y'all stand on this? Because we're going to have to decide. Because Will got movies in the can that's coming. And black people, we going to watch the movies or not? I think this is a very interesting situation, because sometimes when black artists are under hot water, black people kind of rally around them as a whole. So it'd be like black people like, yeah, he ours. And then you got people of other demographics being like, yeah, we hate him. Yeah. This case, we got some black people who can't stand him, and then some white people who really love him. So, I do know Will just got a big chunk of change for the movie that he filmed with, directed by Antoine Fuqua on Apple TV, called, I believe, Emancipation. It's about the man behind the picture of that infamous slave who posed with his back exposed, and he had all of the whips and lashes and the scarring on his back. If I'm not mistaken, Will is playing that man. So we gonna have to decide what we gonna do with Will Smith, because y'all already gonna be mad that it's another, quote, slave movie, because y'all know people don't like seeing movies based on history. And I say that loosely, which is a whole nother conversation, because I personally don't mind slave movies. And at one point when people kept saying all they do is release slave movies, I actually looked up all of the black movies released within a certain span of years. And within each year, it was only maybe one slave movie released out of probably 100 black movies across all platforms. Some years had no slave movies. So this idea that people keep releasing slave movies, it's a bad take. But whatever. That's not what we're talking about. Are y'all gonna let Will back in? He also posted a big video of a tarantula being in his house. So Will back whether we like it or not. I know I don't mind Will being on social media, because even when he was on social media, it was a good time. And I done seen enough slaps at the cookout to know somebody slapping somebody. We'll move on. Now, if somebody slapped me, you're going to jail. But that ain't how this brother wanted to handle it. So I don't mind him being on social media. It's a good time. What y'all think? Hit me up. Shout me out at Canelia. To recap this week's episode, we talked about R&B music and if it is in fact dead, as said by Puff, aka Diddy, aka Sean P. Diddy Combs. We also talked about the fact that Versus is now on pause because Triller being sued by Swizz and Timbaland. However, there will be a pseudo versus battle, So So Def versus Bad Boy, in the upcoming months, taking place in Atlanta. Next, Dennis Rodman said, your boy going to get Brittany Griner. But then 2 days later, they put the kibosh on it. So that brother ain't going nowhere. But it was a good try. And lastly, are y'all willing to let Will Smith back into your Instagram feeds? Y'all gonna support Will? Y'all gonna be down for the IG reels and content? Let me know about that and all of the topics we discussed. Hit me up on social media. And with that, I'll check back with you all next week, same time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again. Thank you. And thank you again so much for sticking with us, supporting the podcast, liking and subscribing on all apps where podcasts can be heard, rating 5 stars and leaving a comment. It helps more than you know. So I really, really appreciate it. And keep sharing Black News with all of your friends and family. Be sure to hit me up on social media if you got ideas for topics. Or just hit me up in general to let me know you've been listening. Let me know your thoughts. I'm at Canelia on all platforms across the board. That's at Canelia, like Kenny and Ophelia. Also check my website. I got some shows coming up in Los Angeles County. Hopefully get on the road soon. But for now, if you're in the LA area, hit me up. Check Canelia.com for show dates and details. And as always, thanks again so much, guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. Keep supporting, keep growing, keep building, keep staying safe, and keep staying healthy. As always, again, I'll see you back here next time, same time, same place. Bye.